Happy Friday, Colorado TSA. Wow, I can't believe September's already almost over. It's been such a busy month for us. We had the Fall Leadership Conference, which was fantastic. And this competitive events committee and I have been hard at work on getting the information about state conference out to you, which is what I'm ready to release today. Just to start with though, first is some dates. October 7th through the 11th is TSA Week. So that's where you're going to share out all the information about TSA, pump it up, build up your membership. The state officers will be sharing some stuff on our social media as well if you need some ideas. Our next town hall, TSA Town Hall, is 10/15, October 15th, from 5 to 6 p.m. Hope to see all of you there. I think probably with this new format of state conference, there'll be some questions. So we will address those kind of things in that TSA Town Hall as well. A couple announcements. We have a new look to our Colorado TSA website. Cheers to the state officer team of 24-25. They rocked it. It's beautiful. Go ahead and check it out. And if you know any of those state officers, give them a pat on the back because they did an amazing job. I want to talk a little bit about there's a TSA Champion Fund that comes from nationals. We have a bunch of new chapters this year. So if the affiliating with TSA is a financial hardship for you, then you can look into applying for the TSA Championship Fund. I think it's up to 10 members and one state advisor, chapter advisor, if you qualify. So check that out if you need, it's on the TSA website, but if you have questions, you can always email me as usual. Okay, here we go. All things state conference. So I've already released the dates, but I'm going to say them here again as well. They're going to be February 13th through the 15th. It's going to be at the Marriott. I know that the move of the date might be an issue for some of you, but we were our hands are tied by the venue. They didn't have any other space. So we had to take the date that they had. There's going to be a new format. And I've been working really hard with the competitive events committee, lots of meetings, lots of feedback, lots of tweaks, lots of bends, things like that. So I'm going to briefly describe it here. I'm also going to release a couple documents that will explain it in more detail to you. One is called Events at a Glance, and the other one is called Instructions for Judge Pro. So I encourage you to read both of those in depth and really get kind of an understanding of what it's going to look like. The bottom line is that we've kind of grown out of space at the Marriott, so we really need to do some tweaking in order to make the conference run smoothly and efficiently. So we're going to have 4 tiers. And the tiers are going to be static, pre-conference 1, pre-conference 2, and then live. So most of the events are going to live somewhere in between those. There'll be a hybrid of those. Just to get a little bit more specific, static means that the event only takes place virtually. There is a handful of events that are going to look like that. Things like pin design, things like t-shirt design, things that lend itself naturally to not having to be in person. Then we're going to have pre-conference 1. So that's going to be a hybrid of both virtual and in person. So a lot of those hybrid ones are things where you have to submit your documentation portfolio. And we're moving that date up. So that's going to be January 12th. That first chunk starts. And then we have a pre-conference 2. Very few of the events fall in the pre-conference 2, but some of them need to have portfolio looked at and then an interview or things like that. So that's what the pre-conference 2 looks like. That date's a little bit later. I believe it's January 17th. And then we have live. Live is typical, like you do your event live at the conference. So I do want to remind you that Colorado State is going to look different than nationals, and just because of our space and our time constraints and things like that. You can look at the national design briefs, but always check back to the Events at a Glance and this other Judge Pro doc so that you can make sure that you're meeting your deadlines. I just wanted to really kind of put out there the reason why we made this shift is I've already talked about the space and things like that, but also there's been a lot of requests for business and industry and people who really understand TSA to be judges of the events. And the hard part is not a lot of people can take time off of work. Not a lot of people can take 2 days. So that's why we shifted more to this pre-conference or these 4 different types or 4 different categories, so to speak. So I've already got some judges lined up who are absolutely happy to do the pre-conference thing. So your portfolios be looked at the web design professionals or the video design professionals, which is super exciting. I also have somebody from nationals willing to judge some of those pre-conference events too. So getting feedback from national TSA is pretty epic. And the other reason is just the space and the time. We have 2 full days, in truth, for 100 events and 85 chapters, and it creates a lot of stress and panic. So this is the reason why we're shifting to this. What else am I want to share to you? I think that's a lot. That's enough for you to digest. But also, I know what's going to come next is, when does call conference come out? It's soon to follow. I'm just firming up some dates with the hotels and some of the monetary things with the hotels. So soon to follow within the next week. Have a wonderful weekend. I'm sure we'll talk soon.